Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Learning Pro Live. We've got such an amazing episode for you today. We have got the LX Collective, and the LX Collective is Troy Ashman, Emma Pawson, Amanda Nguyen, and Lin Wong. And we are having our very first episode today, and we're talking about where we go to get images as an e-learning designer. So without further ado, let me hand you over to them. Apologies. I know I've done something wrong. Yay! I apologize about that, guys. I was like, holy crap, I've just clicked a button. We're dead excited to be here, aren't we, guys?
Super excited.
Yeah.
Excited. So we are going to be talking about where we go to get our images for our e-learning projects. There's kind of no right or wrong, is it, guys? This is something that we've all spoken about, just in general since we've known one another, and we've seen in projects different images that people have curated and obviously used in the show. For example, you guys showcased a load of different images. So I think we'll just kick it off and have a general chat. Who wants to go first? Who wants to start talking a little bit about? Do you want me to start?
Yeah, you start.
All right. Okay. So over the years, right? And guys, what I'll say, anyone who's tuning in, and I can see people are tuned in right now, let us know where you're tuning in from, right? We're all from Australia. Let us know where you're tuning in from, where you get images, what you're interested in finding out. We might even show you how we go about editing images, okay? So give us some comments, give us some love, all right? So yeah, it's something that over the years used to be quite hard to get images. And then there was a lot of free images that came up that were pretty bad, right? And then you had, this is just my experience, and then you had things like Unsplash that I felt were game changers. These were platforms that started putting out images that weren't stocky, really stock imagery, and look really, really great. I could use them for backgrounds. I could use them for different things in my courses. And obviously the things like iStock and the Getty images and things like that became much more affordable, because back in the day that stuff used to be really, really expensive.
Yeah.
Do you guys pay for any like stock image sites?
Yeah. I started using Shutterstock. What is that one? iStock.
Yeah.
And the pay one also Free Peak. And the other one that I pay also is the Icons 8.
Yep.
I think $19 I think a month, and then you get all the images, including icons. They also have some desktop app for the icons. Yeah, those are probably the ones that I pay for.
Those are the ones you pay for. Yeah.
Mm.
I started off for the last few years. I've paid for, I think it's 100 Australian dollars a month, and it is iStock that I have been paying. And to be honest, I'm ready to drop it because I'm getting much better images from other sites, But that was the one that I used quite a while ago, and I'll tell you about the other ones in a bit. Troy, what about you? Is there anything that you're investing in right now? Any stock image sites?
So personally, I invest in FreePic, which Lin mentioned. But in my corporate experience, the company I work for, Qantas, has a corporate account or a corporate profile with Getty images. So yeah, I go to that a lot for imagery.
Yep. And Amanda?
Yeah, no, quite similar to Troy and Lin as well. So I just recently paid for FreePick as the luxury of having access to Getty. So I've been abusing that quite a bit at work. Getty, it's pretty cool. So
it is.
If I leave, then I don't get access to that anymore. And Getty is pretty expensive, I must say. So yeah, look, I'm always open to hearing about other alternatives. But yeah, this is why we're here today, right?
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Miss Pawson?
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, I was a bit reluctant to pay for a subscription, especially when you're starting out. You're like, pinching the pennies, and you're not too sure where to invest your money. But once it was actually you, Cath, who introduced FreePick Stories, and I thought no brainer. They stood out from the crowd for me because of that function. So yeah, and then likewise, the company I've worked for have used Getty, but yeah, ain't nobody got time for Getty money. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's been interesting using iStock over the years. I don't know why I leave it running, just paying every month, and I must have. I hardly ever download anything from them, and they're just actually accumulating. So I've got hundreds of downloads that are available now. We've got a bit of interaction in the chat here. Let's just see what some people are saying. We've got Chris. And he says, Brisbane, I get free images from wherever I can. Looking forward to find some new sources. So, Chris, we are going to be definitely talking about where you can get some top imagery. Leonard is said, tuning in from Melbourne. I mainly get mine from FreePick and sometimes Pexels. Looking for some other sites and tips. Cool. We've got good old Tom, who's been tuning in a lot. How you doing, Tom? He's from the UK. He says, I'm a big fan of Pexels, FreePick, Inkscape, and Vecteezy. I haven't heard of Vecteezy before, so you'll have to tell us a bit about it, Tom. Chris said, I use stock too, but I agree, I'm seeing the same images everywhere. Leonard said, also looking at how you tackle gender neutral imagery. That's a good question. And Valentina says, if you're not paying for images, do you attribute to author or source? Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about how we kind of do that. I've seen it done different ways. Some people put it directly on the image. Some people put it, if it's, let's say, a storyline course, they'll have a attribution tab somewhere that, is kind of hidden away and you can click on it if you want to. So those are really good questions. Yeah, so we're all kind of along the same lines as some of these big stock sites aren't quite cutting it. And then some of these new ones that have come in have been kind of game changers, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's been... I'm a huge fan of Pablo Stanley, and I know that you guys are too. You all know Pablo Stanley. Do you guys in the chat know Pablo Stanley? If not, you should Google him, but don't go and Google him. Stay here. Tell us if you know who he is. Pablo Stanley was he's a really gorgeous guy. I can't remember who he's working for now. He was working for Envision, and he. Where's he working now, Amanda?
Don't know, actually.
He's doing his own thing. He's just doing.
He got a new job recently. So he basically did the set of Humans. You guys know Humans, and then he did. He's done loads of things, but he did Blush. What is one big pack that he's put up? And we'll share our screen and we'll show you some examples. Those were game changers, I think, for the industry, where you could download these into Sketch or Adobe XD. It was just one file, and you could literally just change them out and make characters that suited you. And then these sites like Blush, guys, were literally. In fact, I'll jump on it now and I'll show you. Things like Blush have allowed you to. What am I doing? Let's see.
Billion, do you know what he's up to now? I thought that he was doing blush full time. I thought that that's what he was up to.
Maybe he is doing blush full time. But this is blush, and it's essentially got a load of different packages. And I love this crudes. This is really great. What you can do is you can see different types of poses, and you've got different kinds of backgrounds as well, scenes and backgrounds, and you can mix and match them. So, you know, here you've got this lovely lady with a moustache that looks a bit like mine right now because of COVID, and I can't. You know, honestly, if I was going to do it, it may look a little bit more like this right now. So my wife told me I really needed to have a shave the other day. It was embarrassing. So he's been great because he's got all of these different kind of. It's essentially doing it's doing the kind of job that you would do in Sketch if you weren't too savvy with tools, and then you can upgrade and get SVGs, or you can just download them, but you have to pay for like the large or that kind of thing. And they've got other kind of packs as well. So he did this pack. Here's Pablo. So he did the pack with the open peeps that had a bit of diversity. So, you know, if you could be in a wheelchair, for example. I really liked that. So there's great options. The comments have gone very quiet. Come on, guys, we want to get your feedback. What do you know? What kind of things? I'll ask you this now. What kind of tools do you use? Do you like these kind of programs that you can adjust them from the actual domain, or do you like going into Illustrator and adjusting them, or do you even like going into Adobe XD or Sketch or these? Because you're a big fan of Sketch as well as XD, aren't you, Lin?
Yeah, I use Sketch often in designing websites. There's some like pro and con in that, like little things like in Adobe XD you can't do gradient for stroke, but in Sketch you can, like, so little details like that. It's definitely easier to also adjusting like images, SVG.
Yeah.
I think Chris saying something, busy playing with blush.
Good.
Good on you, Chris. It's cracking, isn't it? There's some really great and I think what I like the most about these kind of tools is the consistency. So you know, you've got a whole pack of loads of different types of images, and if you do the SVGs, you can download them and recolor them and even manipulate them a little bit. What I'll say to everyone who's tuning in is we are all savvy with Adobe Creative Cloud, all of us. You know, I mean, how much time do you guys spend in Creative Cloud? A lot of time when you're doing your designs?
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Troy, yourself?
Yeah, pretty much every day. I would use it to, you know, I guess find a pack, kind of like what we're discussing on a site like Blush, be able to export that and then be able to recolor it. But every day.
I was hearing you starting to say, Emma, oh, well, I'm quite new at this.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like some of the tools are pretty overwhelming. I have a Creative Cloud license. I think since I found XD, things are definitely better. But yeah, it's hard.
So why don't you tell everyone how your journey has been using it?
I mean, I'm not massively, what's the word, disciplined in practicing. That's the problem. And so the journey is really slow. And I like quick wins. And I feel like things like Photoshop, there's no quick win. You have to just keep grinding years and giving it a go. So yeah, I'd say Photoshop's probably the hardest one to tackle. started playing around a bit more in Illustrator lately, since working in XD. But yeah, it's a slow process, and I think there's so much in there. It's quite overwhelming sometimes. So when you go to sites like this and just download them as they are, why not? Amanda, yes.
So I'm going to give you guys some insight with my journey as well, because I can definitely relate to Emma. There was a period of time where I was in workplaces that wouldn't provide me with Adobe Creative Cloud Suite. So I had to find my way and find free tools. And that's why I kind of pride myself in being an efficient designer in getting freebies and using free tools. Emma, I'd love to share with you and the audience a couple of free vector tools that I used to use, and I recommended Troy this as well. And you can actually download, your flat icons and your free pick, and export it into, instead of Illustrator, use these online web-based app tools, and they're all free. Can I share my screen or no?
Do it, and I'll bookmark these as well, guys. So go for it, Amanda.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like Inkscape that Tom just mentioned, I used to use that because previous managers were like, why do you need Adobe Suite?
Oh, Inception. Sorry. 1 second.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Wow.
Right. Awesome. So the first one I really want you guys to get on board is called Gravit Designer. And it's such a really cool online web app tool. So you don't need to download anything. Oh, wait, my bad. You can download. But it's similar to Illustrator. So if you can't afford Illustrator or you don't want to hop on the bandwagon of Illustrator, you can play around with Gravit Designer. Does the exact same thing. You can play around with vectors. You can play around with the, your Pathfinder tool. Have a play around with this, and then it'll be an easier transition to go into Illustrator, I thought, as well. So this is one, and another one is Vector. Similar concept. This is probably a stripped back version of Gravit Designer that I just showed you. And it's just super easy and quick. Anyone who doesn't even have a graphic designer background could pick this up and play around with images. Similar concepts to Photoshop and Illustrator blended together. So these are my two little free tools.
That's really cool.
That I'll probably share with you guys. If, let's say, you're on the go and you don't have access to Illustrator or the Adobe Creative Cloud Suite, you can just hop on this and just download in this tutorial. Yeah.
That's great.
What was the other one again? What was the? I'm actually writing this down.
This one is vector.com, and the other one is designer.io. And this was something that I was using in 2 of my previous workplaces when I didn't have the Adobe Creative Cloud Suite. And you achieve the same results, So, yeah, check it out. I'll pop it into the links.
That's great advice, Amanda. There's also, is it called DaVinci Resolve? DaVinci Resolve, yeah. So there's a program that is called DaVinci Resolve.
I don't know how
I'm pretty sure is open source, and you can. Now, I may be wrong with this.
You're also finding that, Cath. Inkscape that Tom mentioned earlier, like I said, it's very similar to Photoshop, and I used to use that. And I thought that was a good, like you say, stepping stone, because they've got so less tools. It's not quite as overwhelming. So yeah, that was good enough for what I needed to do. But yeah, it's quite a journey, the Adobe Suite, that's for sure.
It is.
Yeah, and I think, like as Amanda said, she got me onto Gravit Designer. I had no graphic design skill. Like when I first started out, I was working in PowerPoint. Love PowerPoint. You can create some pretty cool things in there, but it's very basic. And then I jumped onto the Gravit Designer because I couldn't get the Adobe Creative Cloud where I was working, and now I've moved over to Illustrator, still finding my way through Photoshop and stuff. But that kind of journey and that bridging journey from Gravit Designer into Illustrator, I think, has been a lot easier than perhaps jumping into Illustrator straight out.
straight off. Yeah.
Yeah.
This DaVinci Resolve is actually a for videos. Okay, so it's an alternative if you don't have like Premiere Pro. You can do that, and there's lots of training and stuff. So just another alternative that's out there for what Amanda suggested. You know, there is ways that you can start building a whole suite of tools that aren't going to cost you anything if you are in that position where, you know, you've got a boss going, no. We've got some comments here. Tom said, I tend to use Illustrator, but Inkscape is an awesome open source alternative with all the same functionality. That's good that you agree with that, Tom. And Leonard also says Illustrator and Photoshop to recolor and resize pre-pick images, but I sense I'm sitting in a Ferrari and only using the first and second gear.
I think not at all. Those are already difficult tools to use.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Tom says I love DaVinci Resolve, so he's all over that. And he says there's a free version and it beats Adobe Premiere hands down for video editing and motion graphics. That's what I've heard, because I follow a lot of gaming channels because I'm a bit of a nerd, and it's not so much because of the games, it's actually because of the production. So see, even things like this, you can learn, like a lot of Twitch, you know, streamers and things like that, they're doing really cool stuff. And I think L&D is just an absolute snooze fest. So I actually follow a lot of their channels to just understand how they do. You guys know what I mean, you know? Yeah, some of the animations and things like that, I end up just kind of following them. Yeah, it's really, really interesting.
This kind of space, I always get really overwhelmed, and you know this about me, because I feel like it's taking off and I'm just like a little turtle in the background trying to catch up, like I'm coming, wait, you know, always taking off and you're on the back foot. It's just, yeah.
I think sometimes I like, because there are so many tools out there like so cool that it can also be a bit overwhelming, and then it kind of like you're missing out on the latest trends. Like, so I use Sketch and Adobe XD, and then like there's people started to use Figma. And like, oh, should I look into it? Like, you know, you want to try, but then like, oh, I don't know. Like, I think that's kind of like leaving me out of my focus or roadmap. So it definitely can be overwhelming with those tools.
And the tools are at war with one another in a good way, that they're like, oh, Figma's brought something out, that's cool. Oh, Adobe XD now, you know, they've got to bring out the next cool thing. So it's actually a bit of a thing where you go, thank God they're both free, because, you know, someone brings something out and you go, oh, I think I'll go to Figma now. Oh no, I think I'll stay with XD. So it's interesting to see especially the industry design. It's really the design industry, their conversations about some of these tools and why I now think Figma is better than Adobe XD or some of this stuff. Yeah, it's really, really interesting. These are great comments as well from the guys tuning in. So keep them coming. Shall we maybe show some stuff? Has anyone got anything open that they want to show? For example, I saw, Amanda, you had humans open.
100 tabs open.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys some stuff. And I think Leonard, to your comment about recoloring and resizing images, the recoloring part, I use Lightroom, and there's a couple of really cool hacks in Lightroom that I use to overlay on, you know, really stock and bright and boring images to make them look quite Instagrammable style. I'll show you that as well. I'm happy to share my screen. I'm all about hacks, guys. I'm a lazy designer. I'm just going to put it.
It's good.
No way. Go ahead and share your screen.
Sorry, are you ready for round 2 Inception?
I am. I'll let you do it first.
All right.
Before everyone's like that. What?
No. Yes. No. Did I see my screen? Can you see my screen?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna open it. You're not ready yet, lady.
All right. So,
Let me tell you guys, she's a nightmare. Go on.
wait, am I good? Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm good. All right. So, first one for me is pixels. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know pixels. I love it. I think there's different moods of images that you can use. I use a lot of the nature images because sometimes I get sick of using images of people.
Yeah.
in a couple of my eLearns, so I might use like nature pics like this over here. And I also love their videos. So another hack that you can do is sometimes I like to download the videos and convert them into a GIF. And then I layer it in my background of my eLearns, and it looks quite smooth and nice. So you can have text overlaying over this as part of a GIF.
What tools do you use to convert to GIF from video?
Photoshop, because I'm a lazy bugger. So what you can do in Photoshop is download a snippet of a video and then put it into Photoshop, save as a GIF or turn it into a timeline, and you can scale your timeline down to, let's say, 3 seconds maximum, and then export that into an animated GIF, and happy days, just layer it in your background. So I usually use Photoshop to create GIFs, quick.
Same.
Yeah. You can do that in Camtasia as well. If you guys have Camtasia, just download the video file, drag it onto your timeline, and cut it down to 3 to 4 seconds, and then export that as a GIF. Yeah. So that's something that I use.
Good advice.
Unsplash, another one. Humans is awesome. Yeah, I think I know Lin loves this. She loves Ouch.
Yeah, I love this one.
It's beautiful. The graphics are just amazing. I love it too.
Is this free? Oh, it's free.
Okay. Yeah. It should be free.
Yeah, I think I don't know why I'm paying something. Maybe it's not to be free.
Unlock the version. Let me just see. I don't know if it's paid license.
Maybe it's free to get a PNG or like a medium PNG, but then to get an SVG, it might be more.
I don't know what just happened. Oh, yeah.
So I also have this one, like you can download it on the desktop.
Yeah, and then free vector is another one that I use. Really nice, clean illustrations if you guys want. It's very COVID heavy right now. If you're creating,
but they look like great imagery, don't they?
Yeah,
they look great images.
Yeah,
I'm a massive fan of that illustration, so this is worthwhile for me to go and sift through. Yeah.
And I work in health, and historically, a lot of the stock images, because they come from the States, they dress really differently over there than they do here. So now that there's like this COVID theme on everything, I'm loving it because there's obviously stacks more stuff for free.
Yeah. Wow.
Absolutely.
So beautiful. I'm just admiring the visuals. It's so hard because the screen's maximized, but I can't see your faces. So I don't know if you can see facial expressions. For me,
we're here. Would you? I can leave us here.
Oh, what is this one? Undraw.
I
love Undraw.
Yeah, it's good.
I need to write this down.
And you can change the color to like whatever you like and just download it. Look at that. Whoa!
Amanda's stealing them all. Stop, Amanda, stop.
Oh no! Am I stealing? Again, I can't see your faces, so I don't know who I'm talking to right now. Next one is patterns. Sometimes on a blank page, I'd love to just have like simple patterns and some text over it if I get bored of images or illustrations. So this is such a simple website that offers you a range.
Cool.
Yeah.
And do you download? Is it an EPS to download or?
Nah, it's PNG. I think. Forgot. Let me see. Well, let's check it out, shall we? PNG.
Oh, okay.
But there are other sites that you can generate backgrounds. I'll bring some up.
Yeah, that'd be cool actually.
Keep going, Amanda.
Oh, sorry. Another one is PNG images. Check this one out. Nice little templates for mock-ups, etc. Vecteezies. I think this is Tom's one that he goes to.
Yeah.
Similar to all of the free pics and whatnot. Pixabay, again, similar to Pexels and Unsplash. And that's it. That's all my one.
Oh, that's it. Just that. Okay.
Hey, you saw my two favorite ones. You saw my free pick and my what was the other one? Flat icon.
Do you want to get an image ready to show how you edit it? Do you want to download like an EPS and you can do an editing in Illustrator, and I'll do an editing in maybe XD, and someone else can do something else?
I have something open in Photoshop.
Yeah. Okay. So we can quickly show people how we do it. I'll show you.
Forgetting that you guys can see me while I drink my drink. I'm just gonna.
I'm also about to drink with me, Amanda.
Oh yeah.
So actually, let me do this. One of my favorites is Craftwork. Now, this is quite expensive. Well, I'm saying it's quite expensive. It's not really. It's $100 a year. But
That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it is expensive. But if you can use it, like if you were branding your website, let's say, right, or something like that, then that's money well spent, because you've got access to these images. Tom is approving. He said very jealous, but drinking before noon on a work day is probably a bad idea. It's nearly 9 o'clock here, Tom. So
we're all out.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. So.
Yeah. So what's really nice about Craftwork is it's got a variety of different things: mock-ups, templates, UI, UX systems. The illustrations, though, I'll just quickly show you. So you can buy these individually, okay? And you can also buy them as, obviously, as that subscription every year. If you look at this kind of design, like you were talking before, Emma, about finding really nice stock imagery for in the health sector. I mean, these are just really, I think they're quite sexy looking. And what's nice is they'll even show you how kind of you can mock them up.
Yeah.
So there's just lots and lots of inspiration here. So they've got 15 scenarios in this one. It shows you all the male, all the female scenes.
Good. This is when you purchase one pack.
Yeah. So this is the $99 you pay. You've got access to this one and all of the others as well. And I've actually seen a lot of these on
3D
adverts and things like that. So they look absolutely brilliant. And that's what I mean. If you were going to use something like this on a website, it's money that's, I think,
what I'm doing right now.
You're downloading it right now.
Oh, I'm going to buy it right now.
So there's really lots of cute things that you can get inspiration from. So you can kind of see, we're seeing a lot more of this where people can chop and change different looks.
That's cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
What was it called again?
Yes. So good.
Oh, wow.
Again, just lots of different things to think about with that. what was the other one that I liked? I won't show. Who's going to talk about stories? Is someone else going to talk about stories?
You do it.
Uh,
I tell you what, I'll get you to do that. If you want, Shirley, you can create a little animate. You can show people how to animate in stories. Or do you want me to do that?
see. I rarely use I use like maybe once, twice the stories in animate in stories.
Okay, I'll quickly show you guys. So stories is something that we've all talked about. We all absolutely love.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of things that you can do with this. So you've got a number of different sets of characters that you can choose. And I'll make this full size so that you guys can see it as much as you can. So they all have a different style. So you've got this Rafiki, you've got Bro, you've got Amico, you've got Pana, and then you've got this relatively new one. I don't know how to pronounce it. Kwate.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose a color. So let's say you have a certain hex code. So this is my business color. So if I was going to do this kind of thing, and I go, oh, this is nice. So what you can do with this is you can actually change elements. So you can go, well, I don't want the background. I want it a simpler background. If you can see, it's kind of got a half tone now, and you can remove it. You can change skin tones. You might go, well, I don't like these texts. I'm going to put that in. You know, let's say you were doing the storyline file and you go, I don't want the text. You might go, I'm pretty happy with this. Now, you could download the SVG. You could download it as a PNG, or you can go up here and you can go animate. And this is where you start having a lot of fun. So let's say we just remove that text because I don't particularly like it. And I'm going to remove the detailed background as well. What you can do with these is you can animate this stuff in. So if I go slide left, and I go here and I go slide right, and this one, I'm just going to do the same. I go slide right, and I'll go slide left. Right. And you can actually even delay them a little bit. So this one you might go, well, I want that delayed just a little bit. You might bring that in before. So you see, you've kind of got a nice little interaction there. You can do things as well, like you can ease in. So there's got nice little easings. And I mean, there's some of this stuff that's actually a little bit horrible. Like, you know, if you've got a plan where you could have it kind of floating, but, you know, some of the stuff like, you know, you wouldn't have anything shake like that, you know, it's kind of, so that's why I say it can get a little bit horrible. And then you can export it. So, you know, when kind of in the learning conference, remember how we had Dale De Silva talking about animated lotties? Well, you know, this is now where you can start, you know, integrating things in. Obviously, you can put things in. You can embed things into websites in different ways, or you can download the GIF from here. I don't think it's going to have me logged in. And you can download a video. You can change the size. You can have it loop. So yeah, loads and loads of different options there for you. So this let me download the GIF. Let's see how this looks. Might not like this while I'm recording, but give it a whirl. Did it do it? No. Okay. So It's not liking it. Let's see if I can put it into a browser very quick. But I don't want to waste too much time. I just encourage you to go and have a look at it. It's so worth it. We all can't talk highly enough of free pick. And if you think about basically, you've got a project. I'll just do this one more time. If you think about it, you've got a project and you need a whole load of images. If you're not very savvy with design, this is pretty nice. You can even filter certain key terms. So, I mean, there's loads of them. So let's say you need someone on a computer. You just type it up here. Okay. And you see what it's doing right now. It's actually showing all the different packs. So if you just want this one with a computer, there you go. And they're constantly adding to it. So it's pretty good. You guys like it too, don't you?
Yeah. I think it's worth the money.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? It's again another $100 a year kind of thing.
Is it monthly?
No.
What have I been paying? I feel like I've been paying all the wrong fees.
I'll have a look now and see what free pick.
I would not say $100 a year. It's not $100 a year. A month. I mean, I think it's probably $100 a year, maybe.
So looking at this, it is €9.99 a month. But and if you pay for 12 months, it's €7.50 a month. But what you can do is I don't know if you guys do this. It's because I'm Scottish. It's in my blood. I actually go and look for discount codes all the time. Like I'll literally go into Reddit. I'll go on to everything, discount code for this. And so I think I help it,
What you're good at doing as well is just like reaching out to these companies and saying, well, maybe not massive companies like Free Pick, but you'll say, I want to use your illustrations, kind of get a free license, and I'll put it on some of my stuff.
Yeah, I mean, well, look at other people. There's everyone's got a different. Everyone's got different cohorts. Whether it's you're in a school and you're looking for imagery, and you go, there might be a number of sales that I can get out of this, or do you have an affiliate link? Anything like that is going to benefit you. So. Again, guys, in the comments, let us know if you've used Free Pick and how that's been, how that's gone down, as far as, client work. What about you, Troy? You're very quiet. I know you've lost your voice, but what's your thoughts on Free Pick?
Yeah, I use Free Pick quite regularly. I love the stories, but also just for illustrations, icons, different stuff. It's a little bit hard in my corporate world as the that style is not very received very well. And sorry, I was trying to find the diplomatic words here. That style isn't. That style isn't received very well, and that's, I guess, because we have our brand library, so there's a strong desire to continue to use that brand library, and if we can't, then go down the route of finding travel inspired imagery, which I would then go to assets like Unsplash or Pexels or Getty Images.
What about going internally do you have a media team that you can say, I need a photo shoot of certain things? Do you have that kind of resources?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's where I'm pretty lucky, where I can say, I need a photo shoot of XYZ, of like an aircraft or a lounge or something like that. And then generally they'll go out and take do a whole photo shoot. Same with, video. If I need video filmed, they'll go out and do a B-roll footage for me. So I think I'm pretty lucky in that aspect, that I have them at my disposal. But again, if I just need something for a rapid turnaround, I do have free tools that I kind of go to for free videos. They're not always the best quality, but things like Pexels videos. There's a site I came across called Cover, and another one called Mix Kit. So they're my kind of go-tos if I'm looking for free video footage for rapid turnaround.
Cool. What about you guys? Do you ever offer to do a photo shoot as part of your offering?
Not for me. I don't think I'm a very skilled photographer. I'm going to stay with my strength.
No, but I do think that sometimes it warrants it. One of the internal projects I've been on, I'm working in public health. I don't have the luxury of a media team at my disposal, unfortunately. But there was one that I hammered home that we really needed to connect the learner to this content, and it needed to be people they recognized. And in that instance, we did actually get some photography, but it was pretty sensitive topics. So trying to recruit people who wanted to be in there was a bit hard, and some of it was a bit staged, but at least it was on site and it resonated. So that was the main thing. So that was a good win.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What about hiring out for certain, let's say you needed some custom characters made? Have you ever gone down that route of going out to a freelancer or a agency and asking for quotes on getting imagery?
Yeah. A friend of mine, I work with her. She's done some nice custom illustrations for me. I think although there's some really competitive stuff out there, and there's obviously stacks of places that I've not been to, I think it's quite nice to have some custom stuff just to stand out from the crowd every now and again. So I've enjoyed working with her. And also sometimes sifting through these stock image sites is just tedious. If I can offload that to somebody else who I might spend way too much time over something, whereas she can just go, that fits well, that matches the content. So definitely we'll outsource that.
Yeah. I've reached out to people on Dribbble before, and I find that it can be quite hard. It's hard to get people. Well, good people are always booked up as well. Just like good instructional designers are booked in advance, you can't get a good instructional designer just like that. They have to wait for you to finish your last project. So it's it can be a bit of a challenge, and it's something that I think we shouldn't be nervous about. I'd like to I want to do a couple of little things like go out to Fiverr maybe and go out to them with some different budgets and get a quote. And I want to do an episode on what was my actual quote and what I got back for that money, and talk, just show it so people can get an idea. I mean, I'm saying Fiverr, and there's going to be people who roll their eyes, and you can get fantastic stuff from Fiverr if you know how to search properly. But it'll give an idea of maybe some custom icons, or it could be some characters that I need created, and I'll do a little bit of a challenge like that. What do you reckon?
I think also
that'd be cool.
Upwork would be good.
Yeah, Upwork as well.
Yeah.
The friend I'm talking about as well, she's works in eLearning, and I think that helps. Like the context is there, and I don't have to explain things. She knows what a storyboard is, and I think that just takes a lot of the hassle out as well. If they're not familiar with where this stuff's going, it can sometimes be a bit complicated.
That's true.
And also, you can just happily jump into the tools because she can use them. So like switching out things that don't look right, she'll just jump in and do it rather than be like, move this 2 pixels to the left. She'll
And that's good advice as well, Emma. You know, if you've worked with someone who's a gun and great, you know, get them on your list that you can reach out to them in the future and say, you know, hey, have you got any work? Have you got any availability to take on, you know, a freelance project? Because you found a few people like that, haven't you? That you're just like, yep, you'll be working for me in the future on projects because you're so good.
I think that's it. I think, you know, and Aunt Pew always resonates, like says things like this all the time. You know, we have to try and be so many things as an instructional designer or learning designer that it's important to know when it's okay to outsource. And graphic design is something, or image sourcing is definitely something I'm happy to outsource for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, we've talked about this before, and I think when the advice that I give you guys is when I started, I would try and do everything and it would take hours. And it was actually my wife who would say, time is money, you know, just if outsource it, it'll be quicker, it'll be cheaper for you. And, you know, not for everything, but for some things, I just said, yeah, that's something that either I don't want to do or I'm not good at. And, you know, so sometimes it's actually better to just pull the plug, get someone who's an expert in doing that to actually take care of it for you.
Yeah. You know, one thing actually I wouldn't mind exploring with you guys, and this is from a perspective of someone who might be just starting out. And Cath, I've asked you these things, you know, years ago, but might be interesting for people to hear how you guys do your mock-ups. You know, how we always do a bit of like product placement stuff. When I was first starting out and I didn't have Photoshop, for example, I was just like, oh my gosh, what do you do? And Cath, you gave me one free tool, but I think it's called Dunk. And that just got exhausted quite quickly. So any tips on that kind of stuff that you guys use? That's free?
I use Photoshop, so I don't know about other tools. I remember there was this plug-in, and not plug, like a tool to mock up like a mobile phone, and then you just drag the image and it automatically fit into that. I don't know if I still have it because there was a lot of bug in it, like a lot of glitch. I might have removed it.
What was the one Mel Milloway recommended for XD?
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I think she did.
Was it a plugin for XD?
It was a plugin, yeah, for XD.
Actually.
So you're talking about mock-ups, Cath.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
Are you talking about like example, like to use on your portfolio? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, you know, like when we've done our mock-ups and we want to put it on a phone or we want to put it on a desktop screen or whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
I got it. So
I don't know what the word is.
I use
I use Smart Mockup. I'll quickly just show you this. So I use Smart Mockup. And this is again a paid thing that I use. So if I want to do something on a phone, let me just grab a smartphone. You can filter these things down. So I want an iOS and I want it. So you can choose with photo or what they call isolated, which is this. So I'll just use a photo one. And I quite like this, so I'll click on that. Now, what's really nice is I can go upload the photo or upload it from a URL. So if I go cathellis.com and I say I want the browser window to be in it, or I can do a full capture window. And I can also, you know, because sometimes there's a loader, you can do like give it a bit of a delay. So it'll go capture. And it just takes a second.
Oh my.
Probably the internet not liking it while we're doing this.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't leave us again. Yeah.
Oh, it's glitching.
Oh. The anticipation. I can't wait to see it.
Oh my gosh, Cath. I think
I know, it's taking forever.
Holy shit. I mean, crap. Oh no, I saw.
Did it come up?
I didn't see anything.
I didn't hear anything as well. I don't know what you're. What?
Okay.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I'm not locking it up in Illustrator anymore. What the heck? Where have you been hiding this tool, Cath?
So what's also nice is it will automatically mock it up in other devices.
Oh my gosh, it took me
So-
so much time.
Yeah,
and then you
me
go
too.
just download, and I mean, you're getting a pretty high resolution of the image. So yeah, this is something that I invest in. Again, I'd say maybe it's like a $10 a month thing, but
That's all right.
that looks a bit bent, doesn't it?
Wow.
Yeah, so that's really, really nice. And the same, I haven't tried it as far as putting an Amazon S3 link. I should try that.
Love that.
But
Ooh, yeah, that's really cool.
I'll try that actually while you guys are talking. I'll see if I can get an Amazon S3 link. I've got one knocking around here.
I'm using Smart Mockups. I think I want to do that too.
I already knew about it because Cath had told me, but I'm too much of a cheapskate.
Oh my god, you're so funny. You can even so some of the mock-ups that I did for the show, I actually just did that in PowerPoint.
Yeah.
I scaled it down and then I add an overlay and then I just inserted a little shadow in the back of the image and it just made it look like it blends it in.
I love that. But now I just use Free Pick and Photoshop, like those little ones that just switch everything out. I'm just like, oh, you're amazing.
So
The
good.
tool I've been using lately is called Artboard Studio.
Uh-huh.
And it's hey.
Jumping on Google.
There's a free so there's free version and then you can also pay to upgrade. I've just been dabbling around in the free version, but if you pay to upgrade, you can also animate your assets in there as well, and I have a whole different range of stuff like digital mock-ups, print, apparel. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
Thanks for sharing that, Troy.
That's cool.
So I'm just seeing if this is working. It is loading, but I'm using an adapt module. Oh, there you go. It hasn't become responsive, so it's not that great, but let me show you. So this is like a adapt module. So presumably
It looks amazing. I don't know what you're saying. It looks bloody incredible.
Because it's not going, because of the way that the adapt module is, that I've kind of, they have to put their name in. This isn't working too well, but there's other ways that you can screen capture for the iPhone and then pop it in this, and it's going to work really, really well for you. So yeah, that's what I use for all of my stuff. I love it.
That's great.
Yeah, you're right though. It used to take forever to kind of bloody mock things up, and
it's always like my blockers. Like, oh, I need to put this in my website. I'm like, okay, I need to like find a time, like in the weekend for a few hours, like mock this up.
And if there's a few of your friends, in your network who kind of use this stuff, just share the link, like share the price of it. That's what I would suggest. So I'll share it with you boys and girls. All right, so we've got some questions. Thomas said, photo shoots and videos are a large part of what I do. More video, a solid set of cameras, etc., remain the best investment I've made as a freelancer. And you're absolutely right, Tom. I'm going to be doing a session on gear. So basically, what's my setup? Devlin Peck and I are going to be talking because we both upgraded our gear about the same time, and bit of a game changer. So we're going to be really transparent, give you a tour of our messy offices, show you what lights we've got and everything. So yeah, you're right. And it's given me so much more confidence in doing things like this. So
That's cool.
yeah, and it's just having that equipment. I'm happy to use it as well. Chris says there used to be a free Photoshop called GIMP. I'm not sure if it's around. It is still around.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
MC Rayner. So Cath, how much would you guesstimate you invest in all these tools a year? Too much, right? Too much. However, you know, I kind of go, if it's a monthly thing, I just go, I'll just try it. If you know, and if it's rubbish, I won't try it again. If it's really rubbish, I'll ask for a refund. But I'm a bit like, okay, you know, if it's just rubbish, I just won't try it. I won't use it again. Yeah, a lot. But it allows me to charge a lot more for my products. So it's just been written off.
Definitely save a lot of time. So I think it's worth the money.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, for someone like myself who, you know, I could, you know, I could make my own stuff. You know, I've been like Amanda's all over Procreate as well, which is a program, by the way. But she, you know, we both use kind of the iPad with the with the Apple Pencil, and we can do stuff ourselves. But why would you want to? You know, this is just so much faster.
Yeah,
I think so. Absolutely. Tom said, "Yeah, GIMP's still around. Chris, a great tool." Leonard, I'd love to hear how you tackle gender neutral characters. So you did ask us that before, Leonard. That's a really good question. You know, I think, Charlene, if you want to talk about this, because in the show you really demonstrated, everyone did, but I think one of the things that stood out for me was the way that you selected your imagery. You just killed it, you know. So
it's true that I think I thought a lot about that during the competition, because I noticed that it could appear it really caught your eye immediately if you're very like, okay, there's a woman, there's a man, and in particular is which round is that, the one that I used at the quarter final.
You did the LGBT circles.
Yeah. So with the LGBT one, I used the Shutterstock to get my images, and I'll like my keywords were like LGBT, and then I think I think I also.
Do you have it open that you can show?
Yeah, like I'm just opening that. Also opening because I tweak the one that I tweak a lot is the one on Ad App. I don't know if you guys know this, because the original image was a woman, and then I changed that.
Wow, so much. And that's what I mean, you know, sometimes it's not quite as simple as just doing a search, especially in these free things. It's not quite that simple. So you could tell you went to a lot of effort, Charlene, for sure.
Yeah, I was trying, and then I think there was a lot of help from my husband as well. Oh shit, is doing what a man is doing. How do I tackle this?
All right, it's no problem. There you go.
Can you see it?
I told you it was a problem.
So this is I don't know, around 32. So yeah, so I think I selected this image from Shutterstock, and then I would individually like remove the background. Yeah. And I actually copy and like duplicate this into this one. The other one I wanted to show also, this one. So okay, you're gonna see my messy artboard. Where is that? Do I have that progression? Maybe it's not this one.
I think it was. Remember when you did where you blended two people. Oh, that was the one. Yeah, there was people in the background, and it just didn't look like people, but it looked more like a shape. That was really clever.
Yeah, so like for example, like this one, it's opening. So here, like you can see, like originally, like I had this like woman's image, and I showed it to my husband, and he's like, okay, you can tell immediately that it's a woman and a man, and you don't want to portray it as like the, because I think that's the thing in the past where it still is, where women is the victim, but you don't want to portray it as like, okay, all victims are women. So I did like make the hair short, and then make these two figures as a woman and a man on the background. But yeah, that's how I would it. But as you can see, it's like a lot of progression to get there. And then like back and forth, I copy paste this images into, I was using Sketch on that one, and I just copy paste and adjust. Is pretty much like feedback, iterate. Yeah, so this one I think was the one that I can think of. What else that I?
But that's great advice, you know, because it is about thinking about these things. You know, even the fact that you took the color away from that character, that's something that I've done in a lot of projects recently, because it just takes away, you know, what nationality are they, or all of that. It just focuses on the person, you know. Every person is exactly the same. They just, you know, have different characteristics. So these are things that I think are they just were very well thought through. I love that you've just explained how you did your progression, showing, even getting feedback from your husband, you know.
He's a good eye for this. Because sometimes like you get into your design too much and you forget about it, like, and then like, oh yeah, I think it works, but actually no, if you come back to it and get different perspective, so it's always great to share. Like I even have this one originally, like I wanted to make it like sad and crying, but then I realized that for a lot of like abusive victim, that's not often the face of abuse victim. Like they, you know, they look like, you know, they're normal and they're fine. So originally I had these two. I don't think I have my inspiration image here. It's like some Japanese cartoon. But yeah.
Amazing.
Cool.
Thanks,
And what about you guys?
I think that using faceless illustrations is always helpful as well. I know that some clients don't love that, but I think it, you know, if it's done well, like, I mean, when I say faceless, I mean as in no, what's the word I'm looking for? What are these? What's the collective name for these things? No features. No features.
Eyeballs. No, I'm kidding.
I feel need to like head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
You're good.
I mean, features is what I'm good for. When I say faceless, that's what I mean. It sounds awful when you say faceless, but I think in illustrations it works really well. And yeah, like the custom illustrations I was just talking about a moment ago. I should probably say her name. Her name's Izzy, and she is amazing. And I'll send her a link to Cath to put in the comments or whatever. But yeah, she like everyone was blue, and so it didn't even mean anything. You know, it didn't need to be gender specific. So yeah, it's fun, and I think consulting with the right people is important as well, and not to make assumptions because I'm definitely no expert. So I think just consulting with people and showing up with genuine spirit of inquiry, and you'll find out some stuff. And I know I'm going to Shirlene next time.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about this in another episode of the LX Collective, because we're not going anywhere. This is going to be something that we're going to continue to do. I think one of the things I'd love to talk about is our process. So all of us have very different ways that we do our work. One of the reasons that I actually do a mock-up very early, like it's actually in my second step. So I do a learning strategy, and then I do a course overview, and I do the mock-up along with that, is I want to make sure that the client is happy with the direction that's in my mind. I feel like visuals help me with the whole development. So if they're happy with the approach and the aesthetic that I'm going to put onto the course, then it helps me to be more creative and understand what assets and different things I've got available to me to help tell that story. Whereas I know others do their, they do the build at the end, and that's when the client sees it. And sometimes that can be too late, And I hear horror stories from people going, oh, I built it and the client doesn't like it. And it's like, well, Jesus, how long have you been working on this project? It's too late for them to say at, however many weeks, 10 weeks, oh no, I don't like it. You should have given them that much earlier. So yeah, it'd be good for us all to chat about that, I think, in another session. Yeah. And again, there's no right or wrong to it. It's how you manage that the best,
But I don't know the actual science behind it, but I know that out of all of our senses, our visual sense is the strongest. So, if the visuals are off, then you could put gibberish on the screen and it wouldn't really matter. Or you could put the most engaging content on the screen and it wouldn't matter in terms of the words. But if the visuals are off, then it can derail the whole module. So it's so important.
I think so. We're everywhere we go, we see a beautiful dress, or we see an awesome poster, or we see, whatever it is, all around us, there's beautiful things. And, so for example, I'm a fontist. So I'll explain what I mean by I'm a fontist. I do this thing, and Emma's been told this. I won't tell the whole story, Emma, or make me sound really bad. But I do this thing where I will follow, let's say I'm in the car with my wife, and I'll say, hideous font, in the front of a shop. Hideous font. Oh my God, hideous font. Hideous poster, right? And it'll be so bad that I'll actually go, I'm not going in there. Like, if they cannot even get their branding right, no, right? So, and now, I've created a bit of a monster in my wife, because she now does it as well. She's very, what do you think of this font? And I go, hideous. She goes, oh, I agree. So it's really important. It's really important the way a company brands themselves and uses images. It is your calling card. It's like your website, And another topic I want to talk about is, I had someone reach out to me today saying, oh, I would like to go into partnership with you and blah, blah, blah. And, I just have to say, you're not at a standard where I'd want to even do any work with you.
Ooh.
Also, get in line, buddy. Get in line.
But no, it's true though.
It's brutal. It's brutal, but that is it. I'm sorry. No, I don't even want to go into partnership with anyone. I'm doing my own thing, but I just find it really interesting, and this is why it's really important to brand yourself well, to have that nice business card, to put, and it's hard, right? It's hard because not everyone has a great budget, but you have got tools out there, like the images that we've shown you, that are going to give that module, that poster, something, a bit of pizzazz, that I think is going to make a difference. And we haven't talked about fonts today, but maybe we'll talk about fonts on another day.
We'll spend an hour talking about fonts, guys.
But I am a fontist. Oh, Chris Burke says,
ouch.
You know what, though, Chris? I may not say it out loud, you know, but that's internally what went through my mind, you know, and you, I'm sure, are exactly the same way, whether you're going and you're looking for a hotel to stay at, or whether you're looking at a restaurant to go to, or any kind of service. I believe that it says a lot. You see, I hear from people saying, oh, but if you're in a situation where, you know, there's certain situations that it doesn't matter. I actually believe that there's no situation that it matters, whether you're going to a funeral director or whether you're going to any kind of service. Someone who looks like they have their shit together is going to give me more confidence, you know. And it's the same. It's the same with this. So, Cath's new brand, the Brutal Fontist.
Yeah.
So, I was going to mention to you about backgrounds. So, font, I had it up here. Flat icon. So flat icon actually have a pattern generator.
Ooh.
So you can choose a, let me see if I can bring it up. Flat icon. Flat icon. I'm going to share my screen. And there's other pattern generators as well. But, am I logged in here?
Oh, I didn't know that they had this. I'm looking at the site now. How did that?
Yeah, so you know, let's say I like this little chestnut, right?
So good.
Let me just log in.
I've been sitting here downloading like 20 different icons and placing them in Illustrator in different angles.
Nah. So I've just got to remember how to do this now because
I think we saw create a pattern on the previous
day on the previous page
on the right
pattern generator. Here you go. So you can go in it this way. So see here, you can do really, really nice patterns.
That's cool.
So, you know, they're obviously
so cute. Oh, awesome. What?
Oh, wow.
I'm wasting my time. I feel like I've wasted like hours of my life just.
That's you, Amanda, now on the screen.
Okay.
Oh God.
So here you can go to color. What color background do you want?
Shut the front door. What is happening?
And then download, you can choose the tile that you want. You can do like an SVG.
That's cool. But it's not free, right?
Is this part of the subscription that you pay? Because I pay for a monthly subscription with Flat Icon.
Yes, it's free. It's part of it. Yeah. So this is my plan. So and there I can just download that pattern, and there it is. That's the SVG.
Oh my God! Brilliant.
Yeah, it's really nice, guys. And you know, when you come here, you can do a search for packs or the icons. It's a bit hit and miss, right? So you know, if you go random pattern, like it looks like a dog's breakfast sometimes. If you get my meaning, but you know, if you just take a little bit of time,
oh my God,
you can get it looking
Guys, all posts now will have these backgrounds.
Well, you know, there's some like if you just take it back to this here. This is the stuff that inspires me, how these companies showcase the stuff, you know. So seeing how they've used that there, and you know, here they're showing patterns on different products, you know, I think it's not bad.
So good.
So yeah, there you go. Another little thing to add to your
I have
thing.
maybe 12 items in my list here to look at.
Yeah, and I'll also be putting little cards in the video
my money.
to help you
take
guys.
My money.
Yeah. So to answer your question, how much do I spend? I probably I pay for iStock that I really need to stop paying for, because that's like $100 a month. I don't use it. Free Picks, where I get my images. I get the mock-up link that I showed you. Yeah, you know, a bit of money. But, sorry?
$1 million.
$1 million. But I think some of these things you kind of can't go without. You know, you kind of need it, don't you? There are free versions of stuff. Someone asked how I attribute. If it's maybe an adapt or an evolve course, if I've paid for it, well, there's no need to do an attribution because I've paid for it. I've got a licensed product. I've got a client who does give me images that he's had permission, and we do attributions under the image because of that purpose, because he's government and he's got kind of government related images. We also do some attributions in kind of it's hidden, it's off the menu, so it's not where everyone can see. You'd have to really go searching for it, but it is there. So there's different things that you can do. But I personally, if you could try and not do it, pay for your images. You can charge a lot more for your e-learning courses and things like that. And I've made myself look like a really horrible person here, and I want to say I'm really not a horrible person. You know, I'm just saying that my first opinion is that sometimes if I go and look on a website and I go, you know, yeah. I had someone today. I had someone today reach out and say they wanted a course built and had a budget of $500. $500.
Oh.
And you got to be really nice the way you go back and you say, you know, unless I can do this work in 3 hours, then, you know, I can't help you. You need to go somewhere else. Anyway, it's
I'm really curious to do a comparison on Upwork, because I've heard some horror stories around you know, companies, large organizations, and even medium-sized go on Upwork to outsource e-learning developers or instructional designers, L&D consultants at such a cheap price. So I'm curious as to, you know, where they're sourcing it and who's there, because I have a profile on Upwork, and you know, I think some of the jobs, sometimes I just do it for fun to get, you know, my profile going, but it's cheaper, the rates. I'm just curious to see what the comparison is, like Fiverr as well, Fiverr. Yeah.
Well, I might reach out to Fiverr and see if they'll sponsor something, or I'll just pay and see if I can get a project out there. I'd like to see the comparison as well, you know.
I think I've seen some guy doing that on logos or videos.
Yeah.
They pay like
YouTube.
Yeah.
They pay different prices, like $20, $25. I mean, it's a bit different. E-learning's a lot more meatier than that. Yeah. But You know, I don't. It's really how much the person values or the behavioral change that they want to have within the business. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen a lot of different companies that sell, let's say, the overhaul of a flash course over to HTML, and they say, so it's going to be this much for instructional design, and then it's going to be this much per image. I actually don't think images are the big thing now. It's actually the instructional design, because there's a lot of companies out there that just will cut and paste a shit ton of text and then put an image next to it, and then the next page is just like that, and that is not e-learning design. It's not. You could use so many terms: copywriting, instructional design. It is not that. You're just cutting and pasting content. You're not even a educational specialist doing that. So, but that's what some people want. They want to tick a box saying we have given this person this information, and that's all they care about. So, but that's not what kind of content I want to do. But then sometimes we don't have a choice, you know. That's it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've kind of gone off topic here. No one's talking to us anymore after I made my nasty comments. But look, if you guys have anything that you'd like to hear from these guys, I think it'd be interesting to talk about what process we follow. And at what point we do certain things. But I hope this has been interesting. The guys have shared some great links. Troy, do you have any last words? Because you've got a sore throat, and I know you're trying to not talk. But have you got any last words of advice? Because your images are phenomenal as well, and you haven't said very much.
Not really. No, I guess my advice would be more down the tool aspect of things. Kind of, going back to what Amanda said earlier about, using free tools that are out there. If you're not familiar with things like Photoshop, or you don't have the Adobe Creative Cloud, I would highly recommend getting onto a tool like Gravit. And just, I guess, being like, what's the word? Being a little bit curious. I spend a lot of time, trying to find different images and stuff. I'm sure we all do, and just downloading them and trying to manipulate, just for fun, just to train myself. So I highly recommend, just trying to be a bit curious.
Yeah, that's it. And I like to think that, you're doing some really cool stuff with like the full video background stuff. And I think that ties in really well with what Amanda was saying there about downloading snippets of videos and making them into GIFs, and working that in with what you're doing on your blog about, full size. I don't know what you're calling it. I'm probably underselling it here, but you know what I mean. The cool brands.
Well, what Troy's doing, and I think he's fantastic at doing. He re-engineers things, so he sees something out there. He goes, "That's cool. I wonder if I can find a way of doing that." And be curious. That's what they're talking about. Yeah.
Maybe that's. I don't know, Kath, like maybe that's something we could chat about one time, or something like.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Like innovation, curiosity, that kind of thing.
But that's how I think that's something that we all, certainly within our group, we all are doing a lot of re-engineering cool things that we see, and there's a great book that I have knocking around that I don't know where it is now. It's Austin Kleon's How to Steal Like a Pro. And let me grab it. It's a really good book.
Ooh.
3 days later, the LX collection. It's called
Steal like an artist.
Oh, yeah, I had this one before.
Yeah.
I don't remember the content.
Yeah, he talks about a lot of these things, that we don't need to reinvent the wheel. That it's about actually taking inspiration from, things around us, so it's 10 things nobody told you about being creative. This is a great read. And it says here, is it worth stealing? Yes. No. Move on to the next thing.
Oh, love it.
So, it's so I think this is what we do. This is how I started. I looked at something, I went, how did they do that? And I tried to make it. And, that's just what I'd encourage us to do. But yeah, this is one that we definitely should be talking about, Troy, whether it's group or it's just me and you talking about it. But if you'd like specific topics from all of us, maybe not fonts, but something else, we can have it.
I thought we were already planning to talk about that. Just fonts.
Fonts. Yeah.
I think we're all
a whole problem for me. Go on. Go on,
Sorry.
Amanda.
Oh no, I said I think we're all low-key fontists anyway, so
Yeah, we are for sure. But we've had some love. We've had Chris say, so interesting. Thank you so much. If you could only pick two tools, what would they be? That's a really interesting. I'm going to say Adobe XD, and I'm going to say Illustrator.
I think
or maybe actually Adobe XD and Premiere Pro.
But are they supposed to be image tools though, or any tool?
Well, okay, image tools. I'm going to say Illustrator and Adobe XD.
I say XD because I can't use anything else, and pre-pick.
Okay.
I'm going to say Illustrator and XD.
I think Illustrator. Yeah, and I'm split between XD and Sketch because
I knew it. I could see it in your face, Lynn. You were like, I want to say Sketch, but yeah.
She's frozen now. Literally frozen.
She's frozen.
Doesn't know.
She'll come back in a second. Amanda, what about you?
Well, it'll be Illustrator and Lightroom for me. Yeah.
Lightroom.
I love Lightroom.
Photoshop's a bit of a beast, isn't it? I know we haven't really said Photoshop. It's a hard tool.
It's, you know what? I think I started off Photoshopping like 12 years ago when I was in high school, making like really cool graphics because I just wanted to learn it. But gradually, I just didn't find it useful for me to develop solutions. Quickest output for me to edit some images, visuals, like clean, beautiful photographic visuals would be in Lightroom. Takes 2 seconds, create your presets, boom, out you go. Yeah.
Oh, I think we've got another episode here from Amanda showing us her Lightroom booms.
My Lightroom.
Leonard said, thanks everyone. Grabbed a bunch of new tools and validated the ones I already use. Go for it, brother. Yeah. And Raina said, thank you all for being inspiring too. Well, I reckon we should wrap this up because it's been an hour and a half and people are like, come on, man. But look, we hope you've enjoyed it. We've certainly had a blast. Any last words for everyone, guys? Last piece of advice?
Spend the money.
Yeah, I'd say that. Try it, right? I know it's a little bit of money, but if you've got Tom's like, no, I have to get back to work. Well, I tell you what, Tom, we'll maybe get you on to talk about videos. We'd love to hear a little bit more about that. So, what's your hashtag Amanda? Learning Geeks for life.
Hashtag Forever Learning Geeks.
Forever Learning Geeks. Yeah. So if you'd like that, Tom, let us know. Chris is giving us a peace sign. And we'll see you. Do we want to do this every Wednesday, guys?
Sure.
I think that's a bit of a.
We can talk about it.
We can talk about it. All right. Well, as much as we can get the guys on together, we'll get them on. And if you've got any, if you've got any kind of wish list that you want to hear from them all, because I think it's great to get everyone's perspective, let us know, and I'll sign off now. So thank you very, very much, guys. Have a great day. Go back to work, Tom. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.